Hey guys, Brad from simpleguitar.com here, and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing another song tutorial. I'm going to show you guys today how to play Warning by Green Day, which is off of the album by the same name, which honestly I think this is their most underrated album. I love it. I think it's great. But this is a great beginner song because this whole song of Warning is only 3 chords that make up one chord progression. All we're going to play through the whole song is A, and then D, and then G, and then D. And then there's a little riff that gets used for an interlude and for the bridge, and that's the whole song. That's it. So this is really simple, and I'm actually going to show you 3 different levels on what you can do to play the main chord progression, because you can play it using half notes to get started, and then you can play it using quarter notes, and then you can play it like they do in the recording using eighth notes, and that's where we're gonna get to today. So as usual though, I have created a tab of the entire song for you. It's at my website. You can go to simpleguitar.com/warning and grab that. It is just a PDF. It's free for you so that you can learn how to play the song, and so you can get that and follow along. It is basically like sheet music, so there's some things in there like repeat signs that get used and things like that. So if you have any questions about that, leave a comment down below and I'll help you out. And also, while you're there getting the tab for the song, you can also pick up a copy of my free guide, The Top 10 Things to Learn on Guitar First. And you can grab that right there on the same page as the PDF for the tab for Warning. So let's go ahead and just dive in and let's get through this whole song and have fun with it. Okay, so like I said before, the main thing about this whole song is one chord progression. All we're doing is we're playing an A chord, and then we're playing D, and then we're playing G, and then we're playing D again. So really quick, let's review how to play those 3 chords, and then I'm gonna take you through the 3 levels to play the chord progression. So here's how you play your A chord. Your A chord is 5 strings. There's a couple of different ways that you can do your A chord, but I'm gonna show you what I think is the easiest way for beginners to do it. And then I'll show you how I do it, because I totally cheat, because I got big fat fingers, and so I cover multiple strings. So for your A chord, your 5th string is going to be open, and then you're going to have your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your 4th string, and then your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string, and then your pinky on the 2nd fret of your 2nd string, and then your 1st string is open, and you get that. Now you can do this with your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd finger as well, but my fingers are way too fat to do that comfortably. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is what I usually recommend for students. But I cheat, guys, because you can. Usually when I play an A chord, I lay 1 finger across all 3 strings, or I will use 2 fingers. In this case, a lot of times as I'm playing this, I find myself using my 2nd finger to actually play my 3rd and 4th strings on the 2nd fret. And then I put my 3rd finger down on the 2nd string, and that covers all of it. So I'm only using 2 fingers to play 3 strings. But like I said, I recommend at least starting with your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers, and that'll sound good too. But you got to do what you got to do. A is kind of a tricky chord. Now for your D chord, you're going to have your 4th string open, and then your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of your 2nd string, and your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your 1st string, and then you're playing 4 strings. And then your G chord is your standard G chord. You got your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of your 6th string, and then you've got your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of your 5th string, and then your 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings are all open, and then your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of your 1st string. And then you're playing 6 strings. Now, quick reminder, when we're doing upstrokes in the strum pattern here, we're going to be doing a down, up, down, up, down, up, playing 8th notes. Don't strum all the strings when you do your upstroke. You're going to strum all the strings for the chord going down, and then you're only going to hit 2 or 3 strings coming up. So you want your pick to move away from the guitar just a little bit, so that you don't hit all the strings. Otherwise you end up like this, and that doesn't sound good compared to this. Okay, so all the strings on the downstroke, only 2 or 3 on the upstroke. So here's level 1 of how to play this. I'm going to put up on the screen. The chord progression for this makes up 2 measures. We've got 4 beats in each measure. So what we're going to do is we're first going to play A, and we're going to play that for 2 beats. So we're going to play A on beat 1 and go 1, 2, and then we're going to play D on beat 3 and go 3, 4. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the next measure, we're going to play G on beat 1, 1, 2. And then we're going to play D on beat 3, 3, 4. So it'll go all together. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where you start. This is the easiest way to do it, is just play your A on beat 1 for a half note, and D on beat 3 for a half note, and G on beat 1 for a half note, and D on beat 3 for a half note again. And this 2 measure pattern is what repeats throughout the whole song. That's all you got to do. So the easiest way to do that is start with just half notes, doing beat 1 and beat 3. And then when you get comfortable with that, we're going to move on to level 2. So let me play through this a few times for you so that if you need to, you can play along with this. You can rewind it, okay? So here is playing the main chord progression, doing just half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Okay, so level 2 of playing this main chord progression is going to be adding another downstroke in between. So you're playing on beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to play A, for example, on beat 1 and 2. And then we're going to do D on beat 3 and 4. And then we're going to do G on beat 1 and 2. And then D on beat 3 and 4. And then we're going to repeat that. So now we're doubling up. We're playing a little faster. You got to change a little bit faster. But that, doing quarter notes instead of half notes, will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so doing the quarter notes is a little bit faster than doing the half notes. It's a little bit more difficult. So build up to that if you need to, or you can jump right into level 3 if you're ready for that. Level 3 is what Billy Joe is playing on the recording, and it's playing eighth notes. So with the eighth notes, we're doing a down, up strum pattern. So we are playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, 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 down, up. And like I said, remember, you're going to strum all the strings of the chord on the downstroke, and on the upstroke, you only hit 2 or 3 strings, and that's it, okay? If you hit all the strings, you're going to sound like a goober. I don't want that for you, so only hit 2 or 3 strings on your upstrokes, okay? So playing through level 3 is going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you need to, you can go back to each one of those levels. You can practice along with them, and you can build up your ability to do those chord changes and to be able to play the chords in time. I suggest that you start with the easiest one that you need to, and don't force yourself to play above your level yet until you're a little bit comfortable with the first level and then the second level and then doing the full thing. Because really the most important thing isn't that you're playing the eighth notes. The most important thing is that you're playing in time. If you can get your chords to happen at the right time, it doesn't matter if you're playing something simple, it's going to sound really good. And being in time is the key to that. So focus on being in time, do level 1, do level 2, and then do level 3 if that's what you need to do. Now I'm going to show you a cool little hack that I use, and a lot of people use this, is when you're doing a strum pattern like this that has eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and most of the time when people are playing this, a lot of times you're going to see that on the very last strum, they don't play the chord. Okay. What they do is they actually let up their fingers and then they play open strings. I know it sounds crazy, but it happens all the time. I do it. In fact, I just kind of do it with this song naturally because it fits the song. And so it sounds good. And so what that looks like, I'm going to do this really slowly. If I'm playing my A, I'm going to play down, up, down. And then on my last up, I'm lifting up my fingers to start changing to D so that when I go down on 3, then my D chord is ready. So we're going to get half a beat of just open strings on my upstroke, and it's going to sound totally fine. So here's what that sounds like really slow. So that's it way slowed down. This is it at full speed. You're not even going to be able to tell. So you can't even tell. So that's a way that you can actually have a little bit more time to do your chord changes and to get them in time, even when you're doing down, up, down, up, down, up, and your strum pattern is a little bit quick. So like I said, if you need to go back and practice that chord progression, this is 98% of the song is being able to play A, D, G, D, and do that over and over and over. So go back, practice A, D, G, D if you need to, and then we're going to go over how to play the riff that gets used for the interlude and for the bridge. Okay, so this little riff that is used for the interlude and for the bridge is a 2-measure riff. And I'm going to put it on the screen right here for you so that you can see it. But it's really simple because you're playing your 5th string and your 6th string, and they're both open. And you're also going to use the 4th fret on your 5th string and the 3rd fret on your 6th string. And that is it. It's going to go like this. So I'm playing my 5th string open, and then my 4th fret on the 5th string with just my 2nd finger, or you could use your 3rd finger, whatever works. And then I'm playing my 5th string open again, and then the 3rd fret on my 6th string, and then my 6th string open, and then my 5th string open, and then my 5th string open again, and then my 4th fret on the 5th string, and then my 5th string open again, and then the 3rd fret on my 6th string, and then my 6th string open. So it's 2 measures and it gets repeated most of the time. So the first time that we see this is after the first chorus of the song. You're going to hear this get played twice as a short little interlude. And then we're going to hear it again in the bridge of the song where it's going to get played like 6 times. Now, if you don't want to play this riff, you don't want to be doing this. What you can do instead is just play an A chord. Just hit an A chord and it'll fit right over the top. Okay, so really quick, let's go through the whole order of the song. And then we're going to play along with the song and do it for real. Okay, so like I said, the main thing with the song is this chord progression of A, D, G, D. So in the intro of the song, you're going to play A, D, G, D 4 times. And then when the singing starts, we're into the first verse of the song. And for the first verse of the song, we're actually going to play A, D, G, D 8 times. Then we're going to go into the chorus. And for the first chorus, we're only going to play A, D, G, D 4 times. Now, after that, we're going to see the little riff that we just did for the interlude, and that gets played twice. And then there's another short little intro of playing A, D, G, D 2 times. From there, we go into the second verse, which is the same as the first verse. So we're going to play A, D, G, D. We're going to play that 8 times. Then we're into the chorus. And for the second chorus, like a lot of songs do, this one doubles up. So instead of playing A, D, G, D 4 times, we're going to play it 8 times. Then we go into the bridge, which the bridge is going to be the cool little riff. And it's going to play that 6 times. And then for the rest of the bridge, it's kind of like half of a verse, but I'm just grouping it all together under the bridge. And so you're going to play the riff 6 times, and then you're going to play A, D, G, D, doing the same 2-measure chord progression 4 times. And there's a little bit of rhythm difference in there. You'll hear it in the song. There's some stops that happen. I did put that in the tab if you go download the PDF of that to make sure that you get that right too. And then after the bridge, we go into the final chorus. And the final chorus is just like the other choruses. We're going to do it 8 times, playing A, D, G, D. And then there's a short outro where we play A, D, G, D, and then we end on an A chord, and that's the whole song. Quick reminder, if you don't want to play the riff for the bridge and for the interlude, then you can just play an A chord and just strum whole notes over that, and that'll sound cool too. So let's go ahead and dive in and actually play the whole song with it. I will zoom in on both hands so that you can see what's going on. So let's go ahead.
This is a public service announcement, this is only a test. Emergency evacuation protest.
Okay, guys, that is it. That's how you play Warning by Green Day. This is a great song for beginners. Remember, you can start this by just playing half notes for each chord. So you're playing each chord one time, and then you go up to the next level of strumming each chord twice, just doing downstrokes. And then you go up to doing the full eighth note rhythm pattern that you saw me do as I played along with the song. So do what you need to do. And also, if you haven't got the riff up to speed yet, you can just play an A chord instead of playing the riff that's in the interlude and in the bridge. But go have fun with this song. This is a really cool song. It's a fun one. Like I said, it's from Green Day's most underrated album. I think it's one of their best, really. But don't forget that you can go get the tab for this. I tabbed it all out for you and put it all together in sheet music. And that is at my website, simpleguitar.com/warning. And you can also grab a copy of the free guide, The Top 10 Things to Learn on Guitar First, while you're there. So have fun playing Warning, guys. If you need to rewind and go over parts again, do. If you have any questions about reading the tab or anything like that, leave me a comment down below. Or if you have, what's your favorite Green Day song? I mean, if you want me to do another Green Day song or something like that, leave a comment below too, and I'll get to you about that too, because suggestions about what songs to do are going to be great. I've already got one that I'm working on for another video. Thanks for liking and subscribing the video and helping spread the word, guys. Appreciate you. If this was helpful, do leave a comment down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.